Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Longhorn Radio. We are your co-hosts,
Emily Kim
and Shreya Sonone.
And this is episode 7, Women's History Month.
Since we have no announcements right now, let's just get right into the episode.
In light of recent events regarding Sarah Everard and all the other women who have had to face tremendous adversaries, we would like to remind all the girls and women listening that you have a voice and that you are strong.
As women, we should keep fighting to create a world where women can be treated with respect and as equals. Remember, your voice can change the world. While it may not be Women's History Day, Women's History Month is still carrying on. So in spirit of that, we will be commemorating all of the women in the world who have given us hope and inspiration.
Now, to welcome our guest for today, we are excited to introduce the president of Lee's very own He for She Club, Faith Hahn.
Hi guys, thank
Hi,
you.
Faith.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for coming. So, Faith, why don't you just talk about your club since you're on here on behalf of the He for She Club. Just tell the viewers a little bit about your club, what it does, and go ahead.
Yeah, so my name is Faith. I am a junior at Lee, and basically the He for She Club, it works with UN Women's global solidarity movement called He for She, hence the name for our club. And basically what this movement kind of does is that it's a solidarity movement that invites people of all genders to stand for gender equality. And so I think if we had to outline the main objectives of our club, there are probably 3. And so the first one is education. So we hold workshops that address gender stereotypes, the dangers of those gender stereotypes, and go over the different terms that relate to gender and sex and why it's important to understand the distinctions between them. And then the other one is fundraising. So we've done a merchandise fundraiser where we sold merchandise relating to our club and also stickers. And so basically we sold those, and the money that we raised now goes to UN Women to help women across the world fight against domestic violence. And the third one is we have guest speakers. And so we invite professionals, whether they're college professors who study gender roles or sociology, or people who work in the STEM fields and kind of their experience with feminism. So I would say that those 3 things are like the main things that our club does. And it's really one of the few clubs at Lee that addresses a lot of different issues, just because feminism encompasses both politics, social like justice and economy. And so because of that, we really encourage everybody to join. And so, yeah.
That is amazing. I love that you're doing that. So with that said, let's get on to the episode. So before the recording session, the 3 of us have chosen a woman that we admire in our lives, either a celebrity or someone close to us, like a relative, family member, etc. And so today we will be taking turns talking about their accomplishments, contribution to women's rights, or how they helped empower others. Faith, since you are a guest, why don't you go ahead and get started with the person that you chose?
Yeah, so it's not really anybody, I guess you could say, historically significant. They're just significant to me. I chose my mom, and it's a very cliche answer, I guess you could say, but I think my mom was my biggest role model because she really grew up without much. Like, she was born in Korea, and she lost her dad at a very, very young age. And so for her mom to support the family of 4, because she has 3 other siblings, they came to America with like nothing. And my mom really had to like work from nothing. And she came with absolutely no understanding of English during high school. And so she had to learn how to like take care of her family and kind of become very independent. And I think that really kind of like, I guess you could say, influenced me and the way that she decided to raise me as a very independent woman. And I think the culture of where I come from, in Korean culture, it's a little bit more conservative, and women are seen to hold a little bit more of a household role. And even though my mom is a stay-at-home mom, she's really kind of taken matters into her own hands before she even decided to like ever get married and ever have kids. And I think the kind of independence that she's shown me and how strong she was able to be without any support, without a dad, without, you know, the things that I'm so incredibly lucky to have. I think seeing her and everything that she sacrificed and how strong she is, it's been a very big motivator in my life. And I think she was very much a very exemplary role of what it means to be strong and independent and to kind of hold your own, even within like conservative gender roles. Like, and so I think that all those things is probably why she is kind of my role model as a woman. Yeah.
No, that is amazing. My mom she also lost her dad, and she is also a stay-at-home mom. And although she doesn't, she's not really, I guess you'd say, one of the breadwinners in our family or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She works really hard, and she often, like, she comes to me and she's like crying and she's like, Shreya, I feel like I don't do enough for you. I'm not working like your dad, and I feel like I'm not, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like, she doesn't feel
Mm-hmm.
like she's making a big impact on my life, and that is so wrong. I feel like all moms need to be celebrated for what they do. Like, they give birth to us and they love us endlessly without any boundaries, and they do everything. Like, they do the smallest things. You know, she cuts fruit and brings it up to my room when I'm doing homework. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like we all have that little thing that our mom does for us. And she really loves me, and I think all moms need to be appreciated for that, especially stay-at-home moms. They're not really appreciated for the work they do, because they think like, oh, because they don't like have a job and they don't make money, then, you know, they're not worthy or they're not strong enough. But I think that's completely false, because they do a lot, and they're really strong for still being here and stuff like that. Yeah, it's really important.
Mm-hmm.
I would say being a mom is one of the hardest jobs out there. It might not be like a certain role that society puts a lot of emphasis onto, but they really show how much they
Mm-hmm.
love us, like you said before. And I think it's really cool how your mom, even from a young age, was able to take that responsibility.
Yeah, I think she really taught me about independence. And I think that's where kind of the feminism role comes in that she told me that she kind of taught me that I never have to be dependent on anything else, or I shouldn't rely on anything else but my work ethic and my abilities, and to develop those abilities. And I think that, you know, something that I always try to remind my club is that feminism is the belief that men and women are equal.
Right.
It's very, very simple. It really does not go beyond that. And that means addressing both the adversaries that men face as well as what women face. And I think that one of the things with women is that we are economically and socially and politically disadvantaged. We just face, like, I don't know if you guys have heard, like pink tax and all these kinds of
Right.
things. And I think that there's this kind of contingency to believe that we must be dependent on others because we can't be self sufficient, because of these disadvantages that society places on us. And I think my mom has taught me not to let that discourage me, but to work beyond that and to become my own independent being. And, you know, that I don't need someone else to provide for me, but I can provide for myself. And that there's nothing wrong with that. So, yeah, I think that's why I would say she is my role model.
That's beautiful. I love
Mhm.
that. Emily, why don't you go next and talk about your female role model in your life?
So I kind of took a different take on this prompt. I talked about a really close friend of mine. I think myself, I'm surrounded by a lot of amazing people, but she stands out for me just because I know I'm not the most outgoing or a person who you can talk normally to. I myself have difficulty talking to others around me, and I feel like I might not always be the best person to be around for comfort. But this friend has shown me that it's good and it's easy to help others. And she's shown me how to be supportive even in situations where she might be at a disadvantage or where she might not feel the need to speak out. She's shown me to be more social to the people around us. And I think she also has a really strong work ethic. And I find that admirable because in her situation, I might be less willing to help others or to finish what I've started, but she's shown me her determination, and that's something I really look up to. And I think that's why I respect her so much. Not just because she's social or outgoing, but also because she has the skills to back that up, but she's always modest about it. And yeah.
Yeah, I think friends, they have a big impact or influence on who you are as a person. So a lot of my friends, they taught me many things, and I think your company really matters, especially, like to back you up and to also, empower you to try different things. And yeah, I think that's amazing that you chose that friend of yours. All right, so let's move on to my person now. So, I actually don't know this person very well, like at all. But okay, little background story. So, when I was in kindergarten or when I was very young, I was very, very shy. No joke. Let me tell you that when people would come to talk to me, I would just cry. I would seriously just burst out into tears and start crying when people would come talk to me. I would avoid conversations of any sort. I would just stick to that one friend I had in kindergarten, and she was my only friend, and I would just talk to her. And basically, in elementary school, we used to have this little after school care kind of thing, and I used to go to that. And of course, I was really shy, so I would not interact with anyone. But there was this one fifth grader who she would always come and talk to me, and for some reason I felt super comfortable around her, and she would always try to make me warm up to her, and like she would always like she made me feel so comfortable, like I could talk to her when I couldn't talk to anyone else. And she used to, like, she had other friends, but she would always take time out of spending time with her friends and always come and talk to me. And I really liked that about her, especially since I was just a kindergartner and she was a fifth grader, which at the time I thought, that's a big kid. And I she used to like walk around with me, and she would like hold my hand during school, like at that after school care, and she would like ask me simple things like, oh, what's your favorite color, or what movies do you watch, and stuff like that. And because of her, that made me become a more social person and like taught me how to be comfortable with talking to others and putting myself out there. After she graduated from elementary school and went on to middle school, I have not seen her since. That was the only time I saw her. I've never seen her again, and I really wish there was a way I could like thank her, because she made me realize that I don't need to be afraid of talking to anyone, and that I can express myself and be more social. And I hope that someday maybe I can meet her. I don't know the chances of that happening, but I'm really thankful for her, because now I think I'd consider myself a pretty social person. I'm more comfortable putting myself out there, and I'm very thankful for her. Yeah, she's a big part of my life. I tell that story to a lot of people. So, yeah. Yay. Short stories, fun stuff. All right. Well, thank you so much, Faith, for coming onto the podcast and sharing your story about your mom. I love that so much, and I'm so glad that we could relate to stuff like that. So before we send you off, don't forget to follow the family Instagram account for all things Lee. And remember, you can be a future guest on the podcast to discuss a topic of your choice by filling out the form linked in the Instagram family bio. So, yeah.
Thanks for tuning into Longhorn Radio.
Shreya
and Emily signing out.